So for the purposes of our discussion, let's assume that we use Flowster as the guinea pig. Let's assume we wanted to go after a new market of mid property management companies, just to pick one randomly. And we want to pitch property management companies that have at least 30 employees.
Yeah.
And they're commercial property managers. So I come to you and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get some traction in that market. So kind of walk me through the process of how you would help us to achieve success in that regard.
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm not saying exactly what we do, but where one jumping off place we might have is we might say, okay, Trent, first we're going to come up with this total list of accounts. You don't have to painstakingly go through each one, but we need to figure out that each one of these is going to be worth going after. So we have this account-based foundation.
Mm-hmm.
From there, we might say, okay, Trent, well, let me ask this to you. Do you have how much of a base do you have in property management? Do you know people already? Have you gone to any property management trade shows, or is this completely a foreign?
Out and we got one, and then we realized they were such a good fit for our software.
Yeah.
So we now want to go deeper into that market.
Okay, cool. So what we might do is we say, okay, Trent, export a list of your LinkedIn contacts. Let us know everyone that you would feel comfortable asking for an intro from. Somebody that at least knows you loosely and that's not, somebody like you have a conflict with or something. And let's say you approve 200 out of your thousands of contacts, right? What we're then able to do is say, okay, we're going to find everyone that those people know in those accounts that we've approved in a certain handful of titles that are worth speaking with.
And when you say no, I would assume that's like they have a connection on LinkedIn. Like, how else would you know if they know them?
Right, exactly. So the LinkedIn is just kind of the source material, but then you're approving those names. So it's not like we're going to just, spam everybody. You're going to approve everyone you feel comfortable reaching out to.
Yeah.
So from there, once we have A, that account list, and B, that list of pre-approved connections that you have, then what we're able to do is say, okay, we're going to find everyone that is in that first degree network that has a connection into that specific pre-approved account, right? So there's a couple of variations on how we would do this, but channel wise, it's very simple. It's a simple email that usually says something to the effect of, hey, Bob, we haven't connected in a while. We're working on some new initiatives here at the company. And, can we find some time to connect? Our clients get on those calls. And yeah, this is a little more time than if it's a direct approach. And we also do plenty of direct approaches that I can talk about. But we often start here because, our clients get on these calls, and meanwhile, they've got a spreadsheet that says, my friend Bob has these 1 to 3 specific connections in these accounts. They get on the call, you catch up, you do your thing, you're hopefully useful to them too. And then you say, by the way, I saw this person, and this other person. First off, do you know those people? And then usually 1 out of 3, at least, they'll say yes. Would you feel comfortable making an intro? Then our better clients are the ones that are following up, getting that intro. And what's cool about this is, could you do this yourself? Yes. And you're a special case because you actually, think in terms of systems and do this all day. So not the best example, but I think that, our clients could do this themselves, but the problem is it would be very tedious. The hard thing is getting this data, getting it in the right place, Venn diagramming the people you want to reach with the connections you have, and then making, essentially what would have been years of networking happen over the course of a few weeks or a few months, and basically being able to get these referrals at scale. So that's one of our favorite tactics. That's something we do a lot of, and that's probably one of the things we would do to start to help you break into a new market. Yeah.
Okay, so in a nutshell, you're going to review the people I have on LinkedIn. Bob is one of those people. Bob knows 3 people in the property management space. Yeah. I'm going to get a call with Bob, going to catch up. Hey, Bob, how's life? How's the kids? And maybe add some value to Bob in some way, shape, or form, because I've got knowledge that maybe would be helpful to Bob. And at the end of my call with Bob, I'm going to say, Bob, I'd really love to talk to people at this, and this company, these 3 companies. Do you actually know these people? And would you mind making an introduction for me? And thanks to the law of reciprocity, if I've already done Bob a solid on that call, I've given him some great advice. Maybe I introduced him to some people or whatever. He's going to probably say, yeah, I don't mind making those introductions for you.
Yeah, exactly. And the important thing is what you mentioned, that specificity. I think what we see is a lot of people will do this and they'll go to somebody and say, hey, do you know anyone in this space?
Yeah, that never
and
works.
it becomes hard to do. And it's so our whole thinking on it is, does this require work? Yes. Do you have to talk to your network? Yes. But it's better than anything else you could be doing, because once you get that intro, you've now got a vetted referral like situation,
Mm-hmm.
but you've done it deliberately and on your own terms and in a way that's really focused. So that's one of our
Mm-hmm.
favorite things. Yeah.
Yeah. And if I was doing this for accounts that were going to be worth annual contract value of 30 or 40 or 50 grand a year,
Yeah.
I can justify cutting out the time to do it. Whereas if I'm
Exactly.
selling something that's worth $500 a year, not so much. That doesn't pencil out.
Yeah, exactly. And then, what we find is our clients get on these calls with people, and then there's other opportunities that we didn't
Yeah.
even identify, right? So things happen if you can keep up the activity within reason. Yeah.
Okay.